about you, but I often think with Harry and Meghan, nothing is ever truly thought through. When you are a member of the British monarchy, every sort of thing that you do, television appearance, live appearance, event, speech, turning up for a charity, it's all thought through. Everybody knows who you're going to be seeing, who you're going to be meeting, and at what time, and they're lined up. Even when you consider this particular event, which was with a major network, CBS, so many things seemingly now have gone wrong and literally behind the scenes. But is it about diva antics, or is it simply about people who they're employing that have no idea how to put these particular projects together? As we've seen recently, Harry and Meghan have now decided to do another fake royal tour over to Colombia. And some people might say, why? What is the point of that? Of course, we've told you it's all about money. But here again is where it gets very convoluted and interesting, because behind the scenes, this is truly what happened over at CBS. As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you. We'll have a quick wave. You all right today? Thank you so much as ever for your time. Nice to see you. And thank you, by the way, for your comments regarding the two diva battles and, of course, the battle to be the very first female Labour British Prime Minister. It's always about money, isn't it? In the end, doesn't matter whatever you're in, it's about the money, you know. And you can understand, of course, that that will be an historical moment. The fact, really, that Rachel Reeves is now the Chancellor of the Exchequer is an historical moment. The first female one under a Labour government. So, again, she's already made history. It's interesting, though, whether this particular interview will make history for all the wrong reasons, because behind the scenes, one might have said this was a good idea. There they are trying to reposition Meghan and Harry once again, and they're having to use charity rather than, of course, anything, well, some might say a little bit more light-hearted and positive, because seemingly there's nothing going to plan. Everything seems to be going to pot. The cooking show, the polo show, the non-nominations for things like Heart of Invictus, you get the picture. Moving forward, though, what was fascinating, particularly behind the scenes, was this. Apparently, according to a very well-placed source, as ever allegedly, Meghan thought, for some explicable reason, that this interview was going to be put together by the CBS doyen, that was Gayle King. Clearly, she'd never watched Sunday Morning. Sunday Morning is Jane Powley's show and rates reasonably well. A nice, soft, sort of focus interview. Of course, somehow this got lost in the midst of time, shall we say. That was the first problem, because obviously Jane Powley is not necessarily one of those tick-boxy people that would just agree to everything that the former royals wanted. And this was pretty apparent in her body language and some of the more undermining questions. Very nicely put, very sweetly, but there was an undermining tension there, and you could feel it. Of course, all questions had been agreed, but then they hadn't been agreed in the structure, you understand. Now, again, here's where it gets even more confusing, because obviously CBS wanted to heavily promote this particular interview. They were paying top dollar. And so the bottom line for this was that normally you would go on the morning show, the breakfast TV thing, and sit there and talk about it, or maybe make a very special video that nobody's seen before. CBS had to rely on clips, because behind the scenes, apparently, this had not been agreed and nobody really was willing to do that. And they felt that this would undermine the charitable work. You understand how this works now. So literally, rightly or wrongly, once again, this whole debacle would make a channel like CBS think twice about teaming up once again with the former royals. You see how this works. But according to a very well-placed source behind the scenes, Meghan was not happy with the outcome of this. She couldn't believe the backlash that it's already received. But more importantly, she didn't get the headline she required, because of course there are bigger things happening in the world than these two sitting down, and some might say regurgitating old stories once again. Either way, difficult times moving forward for that brand new team of people that have paid a lot of money to make these two people palatable. I'm sure you'll agree. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.